Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. Here with us today is our guest host, Lorenzo. Part of the show, powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. This is season number 8, episode number 3. Um, and Justin and Irv are not able to be on today, but they will be hopefully back for Recap Monday for season 8, episode number 4. We got a NFL based show here today, guys. A lot of NFL stuff to go over. First up, we're going to start with Aaron Rodgers, as Lorenzo is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's going to kind of have a little bit to say about that. Obviously, we went over that a little bit with Justin last week. So we're not going to go crazy into it because it's already been a week with Aaron Rodgers on the field for the Steelers, but still want to get Lorenzo's opinion as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And then we have ex-wide receiver Antonio Brown with another bullshit opportunity that he maybe squandered, maybe not. There was rumors of him being in Pittsburgh, but if that was even the case, I don't think you're able to be at a boxing event headed by Aiden Ross and decide to pull a gun. I don't know what side to believe. I read the entire report yesterday with my boy saying that, well, the first part looked like self-defense. Second part looked like it was an aggravated assault. Like, it was ridiculous. So we'll see what happens. TJ Watt, contract negotiations. Do Pittsburgh get a job done? Do they get the deal done? I think they do. They have to. I think he's the best defensive line dude in the game, or outside linebacker. I don't know which one you want to call him. I think he's on the line because he always is. And then you have Trey Hendrickson, big time talent, who is not going to get a contract for the Bengals. Personally, I don't think so. I think he's going to leave, and we'll talk about where he's going to go. Then we have last two, Terry McLaurin. Is he staying in Washington because the contract negotiations are weird up there? And then for James Cook, does the Buffalo Bills decide to get him a contract to keep him in Buffalo? So we got a lot to talk about. So let's start with Aaron Rodgers. Lorenzo, I'll give you the floor. What were your honest thoughts when you first saw this? And do you think that this will get you guys into playoff contention as well as into Super Bowl bound?
Thank you, Zach, and thank you for having me on here today. Well, I want to start off by saying I was shocked. I was truly shocked that he signed with them because I really didn't believe that Rodgers was going to go to the Steelers. It sounds surreal. Imagine telling a person now about 10 years ago that was going to happen. It's absolutely surreal. It doesn't sound real. When I first heard about it, that was my honest thoughts. I thought it was pretty, and the timing for it was completely. People were talking about that it was definitely going to happen, but it happened randomly. It happened at the most random time in the middle of the day, at like what time was it? Like, had to be like 2:30, 3 o'clock at the 4 around when it happened. Yeah, so it was just a random time it happened. And honestly, me personally, I think that the Steeler fan, I hear there's two sides to it for the Steeler fans. One is the doubters. They think that it's terrible. They think that he's out of form, that he's out of his prime, that it's going to end terribly. The second side is people who believe that this was the best decision we could have at quarterback. I am in the camp. I'm on that side where I think this was really the best decision. The only problem that I pose before I get into the good parts about this, for me, the only problems I oppose to Rodgers is that media attention. I don't want this season to be full of media. If the media gets too much, and Rodgers is good at keeping, that's a good thing about him, is that he's good at keeping the media and not letting it destroy his performance. But if media gets in the way of our team this season, we might be screwed. If the rest of the team can't handle it, we might honestly be screwed. Rodgers, I am not really concerned about Rodgers' performance. I think fans are honestly, in my book, I think the fans are stupid for being upset that he's coming to the team. He had one of the best years as a quarterback in the NFL last year. Well, not as a, but last season of the quarterbacks last season, he put up numbers just as big as Josh Allen. He put up numbers and he won the MVP. The thing about him is that he was in a whole different situation. He was on the Jets. He's in a whole different situation. He's on a whole different crappy organization. And he had a little bit of a bad start to start the season. He wasn't doing too well. He came off a bad injury from the season before. But he was able to put up numbers in the second half of the season and midseason that made him as well. I'm not a stats guy at all. I'm not a guy who just looks at stats. But if you're a guy that looks at the stats and sees that, you're impressed. You're very impressed with the numbers that he put up. So I really do think that it's a great decision that we made. And if he can, and hey, him and Mike Tomlin have already they're having a great time right now in practice and everything, and they're having a great relationship. He's doing great with the team. I saw they had a golf get together with the team. I think it was just a couple of days ago. So I feel like Rodgers has no problem with his teammates. I think they enjoy his time. It's actually a lot better, I think, than believe it or not. I thought at the time last year, I thought Russ had a great relationship with his players. Rodgers is doing like the extra mile, I think. He's already setting a good example for the team. And I would much rather have that than have a guy who's having like amazing praise from all these different analysts and all these different fans that is acting like a total douchebag with the rest of his teammates and doing nothing with them and not even communication. Something that I like to equate to, I don't want to get too biased in here, but I would equate that to someone like Myles Garrett. Definitely. I'd much rather have a player who wants to be a team player and wants to work with his team much more than a guy who's a so-called superstar, but is all in it for himself.
Gotcha. I agree. If you guys are new here, don't forget to drop off a follow as well as a like and a share. Try to get this live to about 1,000 likes. That would be fantastic. So now my personal take, so we can just get both sides of it. I agree with you. There's really not too much to disagree at all because of the fact of the matter is you make good points. Media distraction. Pittsburgh's had a problem with that in the past with Juju Smith-Schuster and his bullshit that he brought to that team. And I think Aaron Rodgers is more of a media guy and is just going to bring that attention. And again, it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It really just depends on how well the season goes, how well he is playing, and how well the team responds to a new leader in the locker room. And I think if all those things go well, which are things that they can control as a team, I think the sky's the limit for Pittsburgh. Now, for me, I don't think they're going to be Super Bowl bound. I just think that it's too late for Rodgers to be able to carry a team to the Super Bowl. That's personally my opinion. Now, he can run and go into a Tom Brady X type of season and go crazy like he did with Tampa. But for me, I just think that we've only seen one player do it, and that's Tom Brady. And I don't think we're going to see another player get to 45 and be able to take a team to the Super Bowl around there. So I just think Rodgers is good enough to make get a playoff win, which you guys haven't had in a while. But I just don't think he's good enough to make it to the Super Bowl. I just think there's too many high-powered offenses and defenses in this league that he's an older dude and he's going to get overran come playoff time. He's just going to slow down. And I just think that personally, it's just not the right. Now, if this was 3 years ago, then we're talking because now he's 37. But the fact that he's 40, going to be 41, like you got to make sure you're protecting.
He's going to be 42.
42, Jesus Christ. All right, so
now he's going to be 42.
So he's being 42, so that's even a 1 year older than I anticipated. So it's going to be tough to see. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be fine this year. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think they can get a playoff win, maybe two, but I just don't think they're going to make it past the AFC Championship game. They could make it there. I just don't think they'll get it past it. There's just too many great teams. I don't. No offense, and I'm not no bias here. I don't give a shit about the Cowboys Steelers thing. Realistically, I don't think they're a great team. I think they're a good team. I have to see it. Again, we don't know. We can only go past of this year. We can go make assumptions that they're going to be really good this year. I got to see it. So until I freaking see it, then we'll start talking about them being in it. But if they go on an 8-0 streak, then and they consistently continue to bowl, then maybe we're talking about something. But for right now, there's too many great teams in the AFC, and I just don't think Pittsburgh's one of them.
Oh, I completely agree, Zach. That's a great point you brought up, even as a Cowboys fan yourself. I realize I didn't give my take on that. I really don't think that they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. If they do, that might be one of the most shocking surprises I've seen.
That would be pretty crazy.
Since like the 07 Giants. So that would stun me. I do think, though, that we have enough in the tank for a playoff win. And perhaps too, like you said, I do think we have enough in the tank. But you also have to understand, like you said, you have to see the team yourself during the regular season, because we have had recently, this team since 2021, we have had 5 different starting quarterbacks. In 2021, we had Ben Roethlisberger. 22, we had that piece of garbage, Kenny Pickett. 23, we had a carousel. We had Mitch Trubisky. We had Kenny Pickett. We had Mason Rudolph. 24, we have Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Now we have Rodgers and Mason Rudolph. It's a cluster. It is a total cluster of confusion.
No. It's a clusterfuck.
It's a cluster. Yeah, it's bad. It's
not as bad. Hey, how about this? It's not as bad as the Giants.
It's not as bad as most teams.
Yeah, no.
It's not as bad as most teams. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
And I will say, we might call me crazy. Your chat can call me crazy. You can call me crazy. We might have a chance to get ahead of the Ravens for first place this year.
I can give you that because you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you aren't the Pittsburgh Steelers, then no. But just because
the Browns and the Bengals,
no.
Let me tell you, they are going to be poverty this year.
I think the Bengals will still be. They'll be better than people are expecting, but they're not going to be better than Pittsburgh and the Ravens. Why? Because they have no defense.
I disagree with that. I think they're going to be worse than expected because they have no defense. They literally have nothing.
Yeah, well, they expected to be really bad last year, and they almost made the playoffs.
You expect to pay 3 guys all that bank. You lost all that bank for 3 guys, and you don't have money for anybody else on your team. Your O-line isn't that good. You don't fix that. What about your defense? There's nothing. It's paper. It is one of the worst defenses in the league. It's terrible. And we're going to get to it with Trey Hendrickson real shortly. Yeah. But it's going to be a messy situation. And I don't even need to get into the Browns situation. Everybody knows about the Browns right now. The Steelers literally have the open opportunity this year to get ahead in that division and definitely make at least a wild card. Well, now a wild card run. Absolutely, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. So now we're going to be moving on to the Antonio Brown situation. I don't want to be long with this one. I want to kind of be brief with this one because I really don't care. We already know who Antonio Brown is. He's a guy who's one of the best wide receivers in the game for a long, long time. And I'm telling you, Burfict with that hit in the playoffs ended his career. I'm telling you right now, that has to be the hit. Because after that, dude, he completely went 180. He changed. Everything changed. The nice, the cool, the guy that wanted to win, loved Ben, loved his teammates, hated everybody. He outed himself out of Pittsburgh, which his dumbass could have won a championship there. They just needed to stick together and have the stupid bullshit not happen. And we all know the Vontaze Burfict hit should have been called. Wait, was it called? Or no? Yeah, it was called.
It was. I think it was. I think
Okay,
he
it
was
was
called.
called.
That was like what, 2015?
Yeah,
2016? Wow.
that was like
Yeah.
almost that was Dak's first year. Or no, 2016, 2017 was. So that
Yeah,
might have been the year right before Dak.
yeah, it was the year, I think it was the year right before. Mhm.
Yeah, so that's crazy how Dak has been in the league for that long, and Antonio Brown's last actual quote unquote best season where I think he was one of the best wide receiver in the game was that year. That was a long time ago. That was almost 10 years ago. So I'm letting you know that Antonio Brown has been charged on attempted murder. He is being looked by according to a warrant review by the Washington Post. The charge stems from a shooting Brown allegedly involved during a celebrity boxing event in Miami last month. The warrant shows the charge attempted murder with a firearm. It also instructs Brown to post a $10,000 bond and remain on house arrest until the trial, according to the Post. So he is basically done. Any rumors that he was coming to Steelers are now off the table. As we all know, we didn't think it was possible to even have him come back, but it was going to be cool to see if that was actually a case. I would have liked to see a reunion if he wasn't so crazy. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, they dodged a bullet, not bringing or even thinking about hinting at bringing him back. Now that he's on attempted murder, I saw the clips and all that stuff on TikTok about that. It was at Aiden Ross's boxing event, and people so-called were trying to steal his jewelry. He started a fight. He brought a firearm into it. Other people were saying that he started the fight and brought the firearm into it. So there's a lot to go into it. We'll see at trial what happens. But I think his life and his career as a football player has been over, and I think is now over. In general, I even think his life is over, just based on the fact that if he gets charged with this, he's done. And to be honest, dude, realistically, and I don't want to sound like a douchebag, but he deserves it. He deserves it.
Mhm.
He just deserves it. He's a guy, right? Sorry, he's a guy that actually deserves it because he's not going to learn until some consequences come about him, and prison time is going to be one of them. I bet you Henry Ruggs ain't going to do what he did that night when he went 150 miles an hour and killed a girl and her dog at 3 in the morning in Vegas. I can tell you he ain't going to do that when he comes back out. So people have to have consequences in order to change their mindset, in order to change who they are. And sometimes they're not able to even change. That's just who they are. And I think Antonio Brown has to either face his consequences or decide to do something about his life. Right now, he's screwed.
Yeah, Zach. Antonio Brown is really one of the fallen guys, fallen stars in the NFL. Unfortunately, I hate to say this as an example, but I think he's getting to the point of being an Aaron Hernandez story. And it's more and more you see guys that just fall off a freaking cliff once they're now Aaron Hernandez, of course, was a whole different thing because that was at his prime supposedly when all that happened.
He was he was the best. He was the best. He was one of the best. He was going to be one of the best, I should say.
Yeah.
But guess what?
Supposedly.
If Aaron Hernandez doesn't do that, do we still get Gronk? That's a crazy
It's one
question.
of those crazy mysteries where it could.
What?
I think that could have been a duo.
Yeah, I don't think
Gronk
would have been as good as he is today because of the fact that Aaron Hernandez would have been the star. Gronk would have been his running mate. That was how it was looking. Because in Tom Brady,
would Gronk go to the Buccaneers? Would they have that run later on?
Would Tom Brady ever left? Would Tom Brady would have ever left New England? Having a dual threat like that, then you bring in Randy Moss, who they had, and all them other guys. Just imagine, dude.
Oh God!
If Aaron Hernandez
didn't never hear the end of it. You never hear the end of it.
No, that shit would be. They probably would have had 10 Super Bowls, dude. Oh. It was crazy.
Who knows? But on to this case. As a Steelers fan, Antonio Brown, I you know what, the first game and only game I ever won, or not only game, The only Steelers game I ever went to was in 2015, was the Browns game. On the first play on week 1, where he kicks the guy in the head.
On the punt return.
I remember I was there for that, and I'll never forget it because the fans went absolutely crazy, and he was the next big thing over there, or he was the big thing there. He was literally plastered all over Heinz Field at the time. It's crazy. It is unfathomable that this is happening. It's like I'm living in a bizarre world. We have Aaron Rodgers coming in as a quarterback. We have this dude, this fucking moron kill somebody.
Attempted
murder charge. Quite literally, I can't. I'm not surprised, but I'm also surprised. It's stupid. It's just stupid shit. It's not worth talking too much about, but it's just insane to me how far he's fallen off. It really he has a gambling addiction now. He has appeared on live streams. I don't know if you've ever seen this. He has appeared on live streams with OnlyFans models.
Yeah.
He has.
I've heard about it.
It's just he's completely. If you look at this guy from 2010 to now, in the span of 15 years, this guy has completely destroyed his life. He's getting to the point where he's destroying his life. We're not exactly there yet. He still has a chance to change. Now I'm a believer of Christ, and I believe that almost anybody can change, but he is getting to the point where
he can't change.
He can't change.
I'm telling you, prison time is gonna have to make him change, or he's just gonna turn into like a straight up dude that's gonna just do shit in jail and outside of jail, like illegally.
Yeah,
like
he's uncontrollable.
It's come to that point.
I do agree. Probably the hit from Burfict, right? From 2015 with the Bengals. That might have done something to him. You could argue that, but he also had after that the 1,000-yard seasons. I don't think it was exactly done yet. He still had 2016 and 2017. He put up some of the highest numbers of his year.
Yeah, but
of his career, he was over 1,000.
You saw the switch though. Personally, off the field, in the locker room, there was switching, and there were things that he used to do that he don't do anymore. He was going after his teammates a lot more. There wasn't the old happy-go-lucky Brown who wanted everything to go well and them to stick together and have fun. Everything was more turning to that side where he is now, where it's like all about me, all about me, all about me. Fuck Ben, fuck Le'Veon Bell, fuck everybody.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that if you were to ask me though at the time, if you want to go into this conversation, I don't think that those three could have won a Super Bowl.
I don't think so
either. At the time, as a kid, when I was 10 years old, 11 years old, I would tell you I can't think that this team could go. And it's simple because, like you said, they weren't the most collective team together.
No.
Their defense was actually not good at all. We lost a lot of guys from the 08, 09, 05 teams that – or not 09. 09 wasn't a good year for us. 2010, 09, 08, 05 that were dogs. That was a defense. Troy Polamalu was gone.
They didn't have their defense.
He was
now.
Out.
If the three of those guys had the defense that you guys have now we're talking.
They may have had a shot. Hines Ward gone, and that was Hines Ward is a guy who was not at all like any was not complete other end of the spectrum compared to Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. I don't think that team was going to be able to do no chance at a Super Bowl though. And I find it hilarious that people my age think that they would have made it then. It's hilarious to me because they weren't. They were just a good statistical team. They were not. They weren't good playoff wise. They cracked under pressure. And so I think but to end it off to overall, Antonio Brown's in a big down spiral in his career. I thought he was going to get up honestly with the Bucs. Hey, call me crazy. I thought he was going to get back together with the Bucs because he had a good run at some points in 2020 and a little bit in 2021 before, the Jets game.
Yep.
There was a shot. I thought he was going to make it again. With the Patriots, I thought at the time he was screwed. Remember when he was a Patriot? Does anybody remember when he was a Patriot?
He played one
That
game
was
and
terrible.
he had a great game.
Oh, that was terrible. That was ugly to see. But, he's in a down spiral in his life, and it's not worth too much talking.
So now, T.J. Watt, we're going to stick with the Steelers. I mean, it's been heavy Steelers right now, but we'll be moving on to more other players. T.J. Watt, contract extension. I don't think we don't have to share too much on it. Obviously, understanding that Mike Tomlin is optimistic. I think he should be. I think this is happening. I do not see a world where you guys part ways with the best outside linebacker / defensive end in the game.
No.
I don't know. Call me crazy, but I don't think you guys do that. And if you do, then you're stupid.
Yeah, I do want to talk about this. We know that he was not going to training camp, that he did mandatory mini camp, training camp, whatever the hell they call it nowadays. He wasn't going to camp.
Yeah.
Not with these stupid terms. He wasn't going to camp. That was it. Not mini camp, not training. It's all the same stuff, guys. I want to make that clear. The point is that he has a contract. I think he's, like you said, I think he's going to get it. There's no way we're giving him up. We're not a dumb franchise. We're dumb in some ways. The Steelers ain't dumb complete. We're not the Giants or the Browns in most facets. We will not, I don't think we're going to give him up. If we do, I will say that probably we did something terrible. We probably had our executives might have had a terrible conversation with him, and the coaches probably rubbed him completely the wrong way. If anything, then we're going to give him up. I don't think it's going to be because of teammates or because of teammates or because of what was I going to say about that? Because it's a tough situation. It's really a tough that we haven't given him an extension. But honestly, have we seen an amazing defensive lineman when it comes to the playoffs? This is something that I assume that it's on the coach's minds, and it's definitely on the management's minds. Like, where have we seen with TJ in the playoffs? If you can recall, Zach, do you remember a great game that he played come playoff time or at the end of the season? No, I don't remember one time. The only time I can remember was he on the team. When did we last win? Like 2017 was a playoff game.
He wasn't there.
Was he there?
No,
he wasn't on the team. Or was it 2016?
I don't know, but I don't believe
it was that Chiefs playoff game. And we were able to hold the Chiefs down. I think Alex Smith was the quarterback at the time.
Alex Smith was the quarterback.
Yeah.
He was.
And if he was on that team, I got to look into that again, what year that was. That was the last time we won a playoff game. If he was on the team, was he on the team for that playoff game? It was 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was 2016. So he might not have been on the 2016. So he wasn't on the team. He has not performed good playoff wise. I think it's been an awful factor for him. I haven't seen literally nothing from him. He does amazing. He's one of the best when it comes. It's weird. He's one of the best when it comes to the regular season. He is a sack leader. He's a tackles leader. This guy is a monster on the front. But then when it comes to playoffs, it's like the guy doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know what it is. It's like, and I've heard the comparison many times from friends and stuff. He is like an Aaron Judge. He doesn't perform come playoff time for whatever reason. I can't explain that to you, how he doesn't perform playoff time. Because as a player, wouldn't you want to do better playoff time? Wouldn't you be more energized to go in the playoffs? Like, hey, this might be our last game we're playing. We got to play the best we can. But no. And that's what I think is the main problem with his contract, is that he is not doing the best playoff time for whatever reason. And I think the Steelers are looking into that. And they're like, hey, why is he not performing great playoff wise? And can we possibly get a better player? But I think it's going to get solved. I think he's still going to play as a Steeler. TJ, unlike a lot of these guys today, TJ Watt is a very humble player. He's very humble to his team. That's a lot that's missing in this era of football players. He doesn't care as much with his contract as much as he does with the team. It's been known in interviews and from what I've heard from him, and I have to give him all the respect that even if he doesn't stay with our team, I have to give him respect for that he's always been humble with our team. He's always been humble, and he's always done the best that he could, and he's always been loyal to our team, and he's cared more about the team than the contract itself.
I agree. I think TJ Watt, like I said earlier, stays. We're going to move on to another defensive man, and that's Trey Hendrickson. Personally, I went on a limb here that he is not going to get re-signed by the Bengals, and he is going to be moved or go to the LA Chargers. I really think this is a possibility. They have no actual defensive monster on the line. They lost Bosa to the Bills. I think that's going to be a perfect match right there. If you bring him in with John Harbaugh, I think that helps out everything. I really do. And they're really looking for it because their secondary is not bad. The Chargers, and their linebacking core is not bad. They need a frontline monster. They don't have one. This guy would be perfect for them. Obviously, you would want, as a Bengals fan, to keep Trey Hendrickson in there based on the fact that he is one of the best in the game, and you're going to lose him because you decided to pay Higgins, Burrow, and Chase all this money. I agree with Chase and Burrow to pay. Higgins, let him walk. You need a defense. This guy is your defense. He was the one that single-handedly kept you guys in games defensively to give you a shot offensively to score goddamn touchdowns. You needed to keep this guy. Now you're kind of screwed because you don't got the money to keep him because the contract that he wants is massive, and he deserves it, and he's going to leave if you don't give it to him. So I believe he's going to the Chargers. Where do you think he's going to go? Simple question. Where do you think he's going?
You know, Zach, I can honestly, first of all, I want to say I think he's not going to stay with the Bengals. Okay. And if he does come this season, I think it's a stupid move on his part. And he's made it known that he's not going to stay with the Bengals. I personally think that he would be an amazing fit on the Raiders or the Lions. I think and I will put for the Raiders because the Raiders, I think, need another guy on defense who's the front line. And if they can get Hendrickson along, if they can get Hendrickson, man.
Oh, they got Crosby, I forgot. Oh,
and they have exactly what I was getting to. Ooh. They got double X Max Crosby. Can you imagine what this team will do in the AFC West if they are able? What's that?
With Pete Carroll at the helm.
With Pete Carroll at the helm, who knows how to carve defenses. Imagine what they can do if they pick this guy up. The opportunity is there. The opportunity is there, Las Vegas. You have a guy who you can literally they have the money to do it too. The Raiders ain't a poor franchise. They have the money to do this. They have made great. I like the Ashton Jenny rookie. I like the draft for that. And I like that they got Geno Smith too because Geno Smith's been in the system with the Seahawks system. If they can add this guy on defense too, it's going to be an amazing year. It will be an amazing year for the Raiders, and I can see it happen. I think they can. This is their chance to jump on it, and I think this is the perfect green flag right now to talk contract with him. And I also want to say the Lions because the Lions have an amazing team right now. Oh, they have an amazing defense.
You add him with Hutchinson. Oh,
and him with Hutchinson. Exactly. You're just putting the pair. We're just talking about duos now that can happen.
I don't want that, dude. Don't bring
now,
that to
of course, Zach don't want that, but the Lions, the opportunity is there. You have
and you got the money. And they got the money.
You're a great franchise right now, and the Lions might have a shot of winning the Super Bowl this year. They could.
They had a shot last year.
If they bring this guy, they'll bring another dimension on their team come playoff time.
They had a Super Bowl chance.
Absolutely not. Do I think this guy will stay with the Bengals? And God bless that, because I hate the Bengals. They are such a dumb franchise. And like you said, I want that you hit the nail on the hammer. It is absolutely it's stupid. It's beyond retarded that you will pay 3 guys and not pay the rest of the team when the whole season long Your offense was holding on to the defense for dear life to keep games going. The whole reason that you did not do well, you didn't even make the playoffs last season and the season before, was because of your defense. You didn't have a defense whatsoever, and now you're going to let this guy walk. So it's beyond stupid. I think whoever's in charge of the Bengals should get fired for that. And whoever made these decisions with the cap wise, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And if you're a Bengals fan, I wish I feel sorry for you, but I don't. I really don't. You guys talked all your crap last season. You talked all your crap this season. You talked all your crap so far this decade since Joey's been here. You guys don't deserve it. You really don't. You got what you wanted. You wanted an offensive powerhouse team. You got it now. But your management is so damn stupid that you guys can't pay anybody else to save your life. So have fun with that next season.
Gotcha.
It's not going to end well, whatever it is. It really is.
Hurt. Lorenzo has been hurt. Bengals are going to be trash. Now we're going to Scary Terry, a friend of mine on Washington. I'm hoping that they don't keep him, to be honest. I don't know, but to be serious, Scary Terry to me is one of the best wide receivers in the game, even at his size. He has been absolutely fantastic for them. I think they're dumb. They have the perfect team to compete with in the NFC. They can run it back and get to the NFC Championship again next year. That's how good this fucking team is. And excuse my French, but they're that good that I'm going to curse mightily on this because they are just so much better than the Cowboys management-wise. And that's really where it comes down to. Because on paper, if you look at it top to bottom, the Cowboys are actually better. If you look at it. I would say I'd take Jaden Daniels over Dak just because of the deep ball and the decision-making. But other than that, I like Dak in every other way. I just like Jaden Daniels' versatility a little bit better than Dak's. Because Dak's older and he's been injured, so he doesn't run that much. But when he first came in, he ran a lot. That's why I like Dak. But if you look at top to bottom, Cowboys are better. Now adding George Pickens with a wide receiver, depending on how well he does. But we're on paper, we're better defensively, offensively. The only difference is management and coaching. That is a massive difference. And that's the reason why the Washington seems much better than the Cowboys. Because management and coaching, decision makings. I think this would be a dumb decision by Washington to let Terry McLaurin walk and go to some other team. Because he is that good of a talent. By the numbers, Terry McLaurin is entering the final year of a 3-year, $71 million deal in 2024. He had 82 receptions for 1,096 yards and 13 touchdowns last year. Ooh. McLaurin has missed all off-season training and minicamp due to contract disputes. The team believes they can reach a deal, but both sides are not close yet. That's not good. We're going almost into July, and they're not even close to a deal. That's not good. That's not fucking good. Now, if I'm Washington and he walks, if I'm Terry McLaurin and I walk, where am I going? I think you stick it to them, and I think you stay in the NFC because he'll be a free agent. So, he's got one more year left, so he would have to be traded then because he's still got 1 year left on his contract. If I am Washington and he demands a trade, I still think you screw it. You franchise tag him this year. You try to see if you can get a contract next year. If that's not the case, then you let him walk. It is what it is. But if I'm Scary Terry, I want to be moved to a Super Bowl bound winning team. And it's sad to say, but guess what team I'm going to pick?
Who are you going to pick, Zach? Where will Scary Terry walk?
The Lions.
Oh.
They have
Can you
guys.
Imagine the potential.
They have guys who can fill the role of a 2 and 3. But if you have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Scary Terry, along with Williams and Montgomery and Gibbs and all these dogs, and then you bring in Hendrickson on the defense, if that happens, there's no one stopping them in the NFC.
Jaden Daniels, what do you have? What do you have?
They need
Bring it to the table, buddy.
I think Scary Terry can be an instant impact on anybody. He can go into the division. He's not going to go to the Cowboys. He's not going to go to the Eagles. He can go to the Giants. You add him with Malik Neighbors, both sides of the ball, adding with Russell Wilson, and I'm not so crazy with Dart, but I really wanted the Giants to pick Shador. I think he would have been better off in the Giants, based on the market, the media, and everything. The Big Apple, all that shit would have been much better. But the Giants are idiots. We know that.
Yeah.
They're just dumb as shit. But we'll see how Jackson Dart does. I don't really care. Not because I'm a Cowboys fan. I just don't give two shits of the Giants. They let Saquon Barkley walk, and then he said, "Screw you," and freaking won a Super Bowl. There's a reason why. Because you guys didn't pay for your good offensive line. Your management sucks. Your coaches. I like Brian Daboll. I can't really say he's bad. I like him. I do think that he would be better off on another team. But because he's on the Giants, he's going to get the slander.
Yeah, you like him because you get the free win.
No. I actually like him. I'll take him as my coach. I'll take him on our team.
You'll take him.
Oh, hell yeah. Without a doubt. Take
As a
Scooter
coach.
Timer and throw him to the side. I'll take Brian Daboll over Mike McCarthy, big cheeseburger man eating Mike McCarthy. I'll take him all day. I'll take him all day. I like Brian Daboll because he's a different type of guy. He is a guy that's going to be on your ass. He's going to be a guy that's going to get you to move and get you to do things. And that's why I like. And I think that he's a good suit for the Giants because he's going to try his best. I just don't think he's the right fit based on the fact that they're not winning. And it might not be his fault. It might be just management. But that's my take. I think the Washington must keep Scary Terry. If not, it's going to be tough because then their number one wide receiver is gone.
Oh, God. How many contracts have we talked about already?
We still got one more, and I'm trying to fit it in before 50 minutes.
No, it's just, Zach, it's so easy to put the decimal point right on the number and just give it to him. Just Terry McLaurin is one of the best wide receivers in the game right now, and there's no question about it. How do you not capitalize on that? You've had it for almost 6 years now. You've had it for almost 6 years. He's had consistent, straight 1,000-yard years for 4 years now.
And we don't have.
And you're not able to reach an agreement. Now you're telling us you're not able to reach an agreement. You're a dumb franchise. Then how can you not reach an agreement? He's consistently performed amazing for your team. He did wonders in the playoffs. This team was the magic team. I hated Washington. They beat the Bucks. I love the Bucks. They beat them. They beat the Lions. They went over my predictions, and they got steamrolled with the Eagles. But still, they were on a. To
be honest, that game was way closer than that score predicted. That game the Eagles versus Washington. That game was so much closer. The turnovers were just ridiculous. Punt return, drop the ball.
They looked like a football team.
Bro, everything. That game was so close that the Washington still had a chance in the third quarter, but then they turned the fucking football over. They literally, if you take off the mistakes, other than Jaden Daniels throwing 1 or 2 interceptions, you take out 3 other turnovers. They had 5 turnovers that game. You take out 3 other turnovers, there's a big difference. Those turnovers are touchdowns. Those turnovers are field goals. We're talking about a totally different game. But continue. My bad.
It's unbelievable why they would do that. Why not just pay the guy? Give him the contract extension. You guys are not in a hole. You have everything going for you. Next season, you guys can seriously make maybe a Super Bowl run. I wouldn't want that because I miss the Redskins. But still, you could still make a crazy run. You could still make an insane Super Bowl run. And, they have one of the worst owners in the league, though. Josh Harris, he's just a craphead. And when it comes outside of football, he's a crappy guy. But you know what? They're doing the right things now. They weren't doing the right things for years. I think it was since 2006, they didn't even win a playoff game. So for years, or 2005, 2005 was when they last won a playoff game. So they haven't been doing stuff right for years, since 19 years. Since they had the amazing 2024 year. And not pay, and that would be the worst part of the season if they can't pay Terry McLaurin, because I think they'll go downhill after that, because He's going to – and especially if he goes to a division rival. Now, let's say this will never happen. Let's say if he goes to Dallas.
I wish, but we would have to not have picked up George Pickens.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Scratch out.
I mean, you could – realistically, you could put it in because Terry McLaurin could be the slot. You bring in CeeDee Lamb is on the left, Pickens is on the right, and you have Ferguson as the tight end. Technically, it could work, but the problem is money. Do you go in for one season, all in for one season, try to win it all?
I don't know. Jerry always says all in.
Yeah, we're not all in. I mean, this year I can say we're actually doing shit. Last year, hell no. All in my ass. We came in with the same goddamn team and we got absolutely smoked. And Dak got hurt. Like, no, and no. This year, I could say we somewhat all in. I still need some other shit, but
somewhat all in.
So, but I'll take getting Pickens and other stuff like that. I'll take that. Now, if we could pick up Jalen Ramsey or Jair Alexander, a cornerback that we freaking need, that would be great to pair with Trayvon and DaRon Bland. Then I'm talking we all in. But if we don't pick that up, then we ain't all in. But moving on to the Buffalo Bills. Quick segment, 4 minutes. Let's hope to get it under the 50-minute mark on the podcast. Just a simple question. Do the Buffalo Bills pay James Cook? Do they pay him? I personally think they do. What other option do you have out there?
As much as I hate to say that.
Yeah. No, yeah.
No other option.
There's
no one else on the market for running backs. Yeah.
No, there's not. Yeah, and if there is, there's scrubs. So you need this guy. This guy's been consistent for you. This guy is.
Zach, I heard Henry Ruggs is on the market. Hey, Buffalo, you can bring back Henry Ruggs.
Dude, I think Henry Ruggs, bro, if he's able to come back, he's going to be one of the best. I'm telling you right now. Mark my words, he is going to be so much better than what he was before he left with the fucking incident with killing somebody in a crash. I really think that if he gets a shot, he's not going to miss. If he gets a shot, mark my words, he's not going to miss.
Okay.
He's going to be Devontae Smith. I'll just say Devontae Smith. We'll see what happens in the future. But I'm saying if he gets a second chance, he's going to make it work. But James Cook, I think he has to stay. I think Buffalo, you have to fucking pay him. You have no running game beside him. You need to pay him. That's it. That's all I got. You need to pay him. You need to pay him. There's nowhere. There's also nowhere he can go.
No.
Because all the other teams have potential running backs. I mean, you could bring him in the Raiders as a backup. But why? He was just number one back for the last 3 years, and he put up massive numbers for Buffalo. Why would you go there? So that's what I'm saying. They got to pay him. Simple as that. They got to pay him. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. And one last thing I want to add for that. I don't have too much to say about this. Buffalo Bills are my least favorite team, but without this guy, they have zero running game, which I would like, but you have zero running game.
You need that.
But you know what? You guys can do the tush push again and then just lose it in the playoffs by just a couple yards short. Or wide right. Maybe wide right part 3. But
maybe.
Yeah, the Bills, this is obvious stuff. Just take it. Just go with it. Come on, you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now. Just freaking.
You need the running game, damn it.
You need the running game. Josh Allen ain't gonna save your ass every single time. He's not a running back. Well, you're gonna make him a running back. That's what I can't stand. They think this guy can do everything. He ain't gonna freaking run. We saw in the playoffs.
He
can't run for nothing.
He is Superman, though.
What?
He is Superman. He is Superman. I gotta tell you.
Come
he's
on.
I'm saying he's a monster, dude. Yo, you would take him on Pittsburgh all day. So shut your mouth.
I hate watching this guy.
You would take him on Pittsburgh all day. I don't want to hear nothing.
Wait, what?
If he got traded to Pittsburgh in some crazy thing, you would love him to death.
I would. I'm not denying it.
I would be the same way. If he came to the Cowboys, oh my God.
Talk about it in 2035. We might get him then.
Yeah, I know. When he's like 42.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
Other than that, I think this was a great podcast. I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we couldn't get the full show here today. I'm hoping to get that sooner rather than later, but we'll see what happens with people's schedule. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for the podcast here on the Fire Sports Pod. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. This is our guest host and co-host, Lorenzo, here on Season 8, Episode number 3, powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. See you guys on Recap Monday. Peace.